So hi, everybody. Thanks for dropping in to view us today. We got some great information for you. We're super excited. Congratulations on your decision to enter a new career in real estate. You're about to embark on an exciting opportunity-filled future, but the next decision you make is probably going to be the most important decision you make, rather or not you succeed in your endeavor or not. So today we're super excited to have with us one of Atlanta's superstar real estate brokers, Rusty Willis. Rusty is the broker owner of ERA Foster and Bond here in Atlanta, and he specializes in helping new real estate agents build a successful real estate career. Not only is he a successful real estate broker owner, but he's also an instructor. So a lot of you who have probably just completed your real estate exam already know who Rusty is. So Rusty, welcome. Glad to have you
Thank you, Bill.
today.
It's good to be here. It's good to be here.
So I thought what we would do is just kind of walk through some questions that I think most people probably have on their mind, and then we'll just give them those answers. And then if they have additional questions, they can reach out to us in the comment section below.
Sure.
Right?
Okay.
All right, great.
Sounds good.
So let me ask you first off, do you think now is a good time to become a real estate agent, to be starting a real estate business?
Yeah, I get that question a lot, and the reality is yes and no. Really the reason why it may not be a good idea to become a real estate salesperson right now is you simply don't have the financial savings or the support to invest maybe in a long-term career right now. Maybe you lack the long-term commitment to learning how to be a professional salesperson, or some people get into the business thinking it's just something they want to do, or maybe it's a stopgap job, or it looks fun or easy on TV. So that's kind of why they think they're going to get into it. So if an agent is not any of those people, what's that?
I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. So it sounds like what you're saying is it's a good time if you're serious and you want to embark on a career and a business and put in the effort, but it's not a good time if you just think it's going to be something that you can just pop in and make a fast buck and get out.
Absolutely. So if somebody coming into this business, if none of that describes them, the answer really is yes, that it's an excellent time to become a real estate agent. And you have to remember that no matter what the marketplace is doing, if an agent will take the time to learn and then apply the fundamentals of running a professional real estate business, they're way on their way to outperforming any market, including this one. And I know right now all the news is saying, oh, the real estate market is in rough shape, all those kind of things. And what you have to remember is a couple of things. One is all real estate is local, and the news is certainly sensationalized and kind of a generic thing out there. The other is that even in a market, in any market, people have to move. So you have to come into this business really with a desire to help those people do just that, recognizing that the primary drivers of our business really involve all the reasons why somebody has to move. And those reasons tend to be emotionally charged, and you're going to recognize that you're going to serve a lot of roles as an agent. But if you do it well, you're going to make a career out of this. So I like to train 7 basic skill sets, Bill, and really work with agents on those fundamentals, that if they will learn them, if they'll apply them, if they'll continually strive to master those, they'll make it. Now, none of them are complicated, but they're certainly not easy. Doing them gets a little bit easier every year. I'll say that.
Do you want to share people what those 7 things are?
Well, I can tell you the first few, right? Not giving away all my secrets, but the first few is you have to be a goal setter. You have to be somebody who really sets a goal that they can commit to, that they get personal with. You have to be somebody that is good with solving problems. There are all kinds of things that are going to happen, and you've got to be quick on your feet. You've got to, do what you need to do to help people continually move forward. One of the things I think that agents coming into business don't realize is that as much as it is a people business, and it really is a service business, you have to layer, basically underneath that it is still sales, right? And you've got to help people make their way to continuing to make the decision they've already started to make. There's too many reasons that in our business that the consumer, being a buyer or a seller, kind of lock up and freeze in place. And our job really is to help that person continue doing what it is that they need to do. We don't push anything on anybody. We're not trying to make anybody do what they shouldn't do or don't want to do, but you have to realize your role into it. So there's 5 more things we do along that way to help. And then, the last one is you have to understand as a new agent, you're running a business. It isn't a job. This is a business that involves the transfer of real estate. And as long as you're good with that, you're going to do what you need to do.
So you mentioned one of the characteristics that you have to have if you're going to be successful in real estate is a good problem solver. Are there other skills that you think somebody needs to possess in order to be successful? So what do you look for in an agent?
What I look for in an agent really is a couple of different things. When somebody comes in and they just tell me, hey, I want to get into real estate, and I'll spend a little time getting to know them, not necessarily anything about real estate, but about you. Tell me about you. What do you like? What do you not like? What do you enjoy? What do you not? And I enjoy it. I'm looking for a little bit of a spark of a personality there. Understanding that we're all different, right? And I honestly can't tell when somebody comes in, are they going to be a great agent? Are they a good agent? Are they going to be a terrible agent? I can't tell that. So what I'm looking for is somebody who is open to learning. They're open to being coached, and they're committed to doing the work that needs to get done. And most people will present that up front. And I often say, Bill, that I can't tell you what's going to happen if you do what I tell you to do, but I can tell you what's going to happen if you don't. And typically within the first 3 weeks, I get a really good idea of whether or not this new person is committed to doing the work or whether they're not. And so, that I can tell. But one of the things I found with top producers, even the new folks, is that there are some things in common. One is that they have an ability to quickly connect with a lot of different kinds of people. Some people learn it a little more slowly than others, but they have that ability. They recognize, as I said before, that they're building a business, not doing a job. So it is kind of a get started quickly, but also get started on purpose kind of proposition. Interestingly enough, I have found that really good agents who get up and running quickly have a need to prove something to themselves, or they have a need to prove something to someone else. So it's kind of an internal drive, an ego drive that kicks in for a lot of people. In the real world, I find that people need money, and they simply have no other options, and they're going to do what they need to do to make the money that they want to make. Good agents have a thick skin, and I can tell pretty quickly. Sometimes in an interview, I'll say something to somebody to get a little tweak to see how quickly they bounce back from that. And then I explain it, of course, this is what I'm doing, but I want to see if people can bounce back. And then one of the things that that certainly doesn't hurt is a sense of humor. You've got to find the sunshine in all this. You've got to find the fun in it. You have to have a good sense of humor about what's going on. The reality is that different people come in with different learning styles. They come in with different personalities. They come in with a different level of drive. So, my job is to help that agent discover it, come to terms with it, and then use it to their advantage. And as long as a new licensee is trying, I'm going to try. But I can't help somebody who doesn't want to even try. So that's really the biggies for me.
So you mentioned money. How much potential earnings is it for a new real estate agent right now? Everybody thinks that they hear this term $1 million agent. Does that mean they're making $1 million? I mean, how much money could a new agent realistically make right now selling real estate in Atlanta?
Yeah, that's always a fun one. I teach pre-license, and sometimes I'll hear, well, not sometimes, usually all the time, I hear from my students, oh, they're watching $1 Million Listing Los Angeles or $1 Million Vegas, or they've seen House Hunters or something like that, and everything looks like fun and it looks easy. So when you ask the question, what is, potentially what can a new agent make? Potential is kind of an interesting way to look at that question, because potentially it's really any number, including zero. So the question I like to ask a new person is, if you want to make this amount of money, are you willing to do the activities necessary to get to that? Since 1995, I've worked with 1,000 agents, And when they come in to first talk to me, they all basically say the same thing. They want to get into real estate because they like people, they like houses. Someone else told them they would be good at it. And universally, when I ask a new agent how much they want to make in their first year, they'll say $100,000. And have I had agents make $100,000 in their first year? Absolutely. I've had agents make a lot more than $100,000 in their first year. And if you go back to our earlier conversation about why they're able to do that, it really comes down to their motivation and their commitment. I can't give somebody motivation. I can spur, I can encourage, I can do those kinds of things. But as a new person coming into the business, you're either motivated to do what you need to do to make your income goal, or you're not. I can help train and coach all day long. I can give a new agent all the tools, resources, everything they could possibly need. But at the end of the day, every agent has to be committed to that work. It kind of reminds me of a story from years and years and years ago. I had a staff person who was relatively new with me, and she said, can I ask you a question? I said, Lisa, what's going on? She said, I don't understand something. Okay. So how can you take two agents who start on the same day, they have the same access to you, the same training, the same education, the same coaching, and one person makes it and one person doesn't? She said, I don't understand. I said, well, Lisa, that's actually a very easy answer. And it's because one person will do the work and one person will not do the work. And that is the only difference. So as I said, I've had a lot of first-time agents exceed their income goal. As a matter of fact, my rookie of the year 4 years ago was number 3 for my national brand at the time. National brand, that agent the next year was number 2 in the country, and my rookie of the year the next year was number 1 in the country. So, you can do it if you're committed to doing the work. It's that simple or that hard, whichever way you want to look at it.
So if I understand you, then what you're saying is the opportunity is unlimited and the amount of money they can make is really up to the amount of work they're going to put in.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So sort of like life.
And if you, what's that?
I said, so it's sort of like life. What they put in is what they'll get out.
It's like everything in your life, right? You want a good relationship, put the work in. You want a nice house, do the work you need to do
Gotcha.
to it. Yeah.
How long would it realistically take somebody to start making money in today's real estate market? So I just got my real estate license and I come to you and you get me started. How long before I actually start making money? Do I make money right away, or how does that work?
For most agents, the answer is no, it is not right away. However, that being said, should you be making money within your first 90 days? Yes. Okay. Everything in our business runs in a 90-day cycle. So you're going to get into business. You need to set yourself up correctly. You need to learn some of the fundamentals, and the activities really need to start on day one. So when you go to work for a real estate broker, that person, whoever it might be, should be giving you things to do as much as there's things to learn. You don't need to know a lot up front to call somebody that's a friend of yours and say, hey, I'm in the real estate business. You don't need to know anything at that point. So you've got to get used to making those contacts. There are a lot of things that agents can do to generate closings, and you have to understand that you don't get paid unless you sell something and it closes. So there are faster ways, there are slower ways. Open houses are a great way to go out there and meet people who are looking to purchase a home. Hopefully there's an agent in your office that's got a good listing somewhere that you could hold open. There are all kinds of seminars and educational sessions that you could host. There is dealing with people that you already know, who know you. You've got to get some champions on your side and really begin reaching out to those people, and then prospecting to people you don't know. There's kind of an old rule of thumb around here, is that you know people, the people you know and the people you don't know, which number is greater, and you better be reaching out to the larger group as much as the people you know. And there are effective good ways to do that, and then there are low effectiveness ways of doing that. So working with a broker, working with a coach to help you determine, okay, what exactly should I be doing? What should I be saying? What do I need to do next? That's what an agent needs to do. So to answer your question, I have had agents have a closing within 45 days. It just happens that fast. I've had my rookie of the year, who was my #1 agent nationwide that I mentioned a few minutes ago. She sat in my office for about 5 months crying. And she said, I don't know, I'm doing all this stuff and nothing's happening. And I said, look, we're going to keep doing what I know works. We're going to keep doing the fundamentals, and you're going to keep a smile on your face and you're going to keep doing it. She said, I know. Okay. And she goes off and I want to say she made $160,000 in the course of 6 months. So,
Wow.
and she's never slowed down.
Mhm.
So the fundamentals will work. You just have to have, the tenacity, the commitment to it, and the faith in the person that's helping you, that you're going to get there. If that answers it.
Yeah, it's a good answer. One of the things I said when we first started this morning was, the decision an agent makes as to which company they're going to choose and where they go to work is going to have a profound impact on their level of success. So the question is, are all real estate companies basically the same? Can I get the same results from any real estate company I go to? Are
Oh.
they all pretty much the same, just a different color?
Oh no, God, no. Even within a single brand that has multiple offices, not all offices are the same within that company. And what I have seen over and over again, what I have personally experienced in my own career, is that the personality, if you will, of the office takes on the personality of the broker manager, broker owner, whoever it might be. And the production that those agents do are tied to that personality. So is the company doing everything it needs to support you in what you're trying to do? And support comes in a lot of different forms, right? Support comes in the tangibles, which most every company has, and then it comes into the kind of the intangibles. That's the environment, the camaraderie, the culture of the office. Is it supporting what you want to do? And every company has its own business model. And once you figure out, well, what's the business model of this company, then you begin to figure out, okay, well, is it really good for me? It's interesting to me when I'm looking at what companies are offering. It tends to fall in one of a few categories. And it tends to fall into that 100% fee-driven category, where the broker is telling you, hey, come to work for me and I'm going to give you all this. I'm going to give you all the money. And you're going to go off and make all this other money. And I always question that, why a broker would be willing to give away all their money, because I don't know, but no broker I know is running a non-for-profit real estate operation. So that money's coming back to the broker somehow. If it's a monthly charge, okay, well, agent, what are you getting for that monthly charge? If it's a commission split, what are you getting as a commit, in terms of value for the money you're spending? And agents, I understand, they make a decision based on finances sometimes first, kind of a short-term look. Sometimes they understand, hey, I don't know anything, I need all the support and education I can get. But what I found is, once an agent kind of gets started in a company, they run the risk of either staying too long and not making a move, or they make the mistake of moving too often. So what I would suggest is, hey, take a look in the office, and if there are other top producers in that company or in that office, and you're not a top producer, maybe the problem isn't you, maybe it is, maybe the problem is you, maybe it's not the company, or perhaps it is the company, it's just not the right culture fit for you. So I really believe that culture, more than most anything, is what helps drive an agent to be successful or not successful, not just the money component.
Gotcha. So what advice would you give somebody who's tuning in today? They're looking for tips on, how to be successful as a new real estate agent in a market. What advice and guidance would you share with them today?
First thing coming in is to choose your company carefully, right? We just kind of went all through that, but you have to choose it carefully. Don't be in a hurry to sign up with a broker. You understand that you're entering a sales business, and you're going to need to learn some of the sales skills that really apply to any sales business. And if your broker is a very persuasive salesperson, that may be a good sign for you. If you're there and you're saying, hey, this sounds good and I want to sign up and all those kind of things, that's great. but take a step back and say, okay, is my broker a really good salesperson? Which is not necessarily a bad thing if you can learn from that broker how to sell, but maybe it is. When I say take a step back, Bill, every real estate office out there, every real estate company, every agent is out there on the web. So go out and do some research, right? Call several agents in that company, or any office that you're considering actually, and learn everything you can from the agents that are already there. If everything is good, be careful. If everything is bad, be careful, right? So call a bunch of agents. And the question I sometimes encourage new licensees to ask an agent in any office that you're considering, hey, what's the one thing you would change if you could? And if the answer is, oh, well, I would change the brand of coffee in the break room. Well, okay, then it's a pretty good office. If it's, I would fire this person and replace them, then you got something else going on there. Don't fall for stuff, Bill. Every broker has stuff. So a lot of it's going to be, here's our CRM and here's our website and here's our flyers and here's this staff person and that staff person. Here's all the things we do. Every broker has stuff. But when you're looking at the stuff, you have to evaluate, is it something that you feel like is going to benefit you as a new person, and are you going to use it? If you don't like it, if you're not going to use it, if it's a program that just has, just intrinsically, I'm not going to do that. First of all, you might want to be reconsidering your attitude, but don't fall for that, right? Then take a step back and really evaluate that brokerage online. Do some research. Does it look like, it's a cohesive unit? Does it look like a professional appearance to the consumer? Does it say the things? Does it offer the things that you feel like would benefit the consumer? Are the agents engaged, or is every agent really just doing their own thing? That's really the biggie. Just kind of a couple of other things, like no matter where you end up, you've got to commit to learning. Learning never stops. Even I've been doing this for 28 years, and every day I'm learning something new, taking a class, attending a workshop on a weekly basis, obviously working with you and some other folks to figure out, hey, am I doing everything that I can do? No matter where you end up as an agent, you just realize that you're going to have to commit to working harder than you've ever worked before. Like it is, that's just the nature of the business. So, yeah.
Good guidance, good guidance. So Rusty, how do they get in touch with you? Somebody has further questions. If they don't want to just submit them in our comments and they want to actually reach out to you for more questions, how do they do that?
Sure. Easiest way, believe it or not, is to text me, right? And I can call you right back. My cell phone number is 404-840-8353. You can email me. It's Rusty, R-U-S-T-Y, at ERAFB.com. Really, either way is going to work, Bill. And I'm happy, if somebody, even if they're not local, if you have a question, if you just want to know more, I'll give you my opinion. I don't have a shortage of opinions, right?
Right.
But I just want people to make a good decision. That's really for me.
So no matter where they are in the process, whether they're just starting out and just thinking about it, or they're just finished up on their licensing and they're looking for a company, either way, you'll be happy to help give them some
Absolutely.
guidance.
I mean, absolutely. If somebody's been in the business for a little while and like they're not accomplishing what they set out to accomplish, I'm happy to help them. And the answer may not be to change companies, right? It might be, but it may not be. So I'll help anybody that needs the help in this business. Absolutely.
Excellent. Great. Well, thank you, Rusty. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you,
sharing
Bill.
some great tips with everybody. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Like I said, if you have additional questions, just submit them in the comment area and either Rusty and I will get back to you. So we wish you much success on this journey in real estate. We know you'll be great, but follow the guidance, particularly deciding which company you choose to go to work with, because that's a biggie.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here today. We look forward to hearing from you.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Rusty. See you soon.